You know you like my shirt.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, welcome to SonarFeed episode 234. We're calling this Between Two Chivas. Because the fake Chivas or the resurrected Chivas, and then the Chivas is going to lose at CenturyLink Field on Wednesday night.
We'll see. It's going to be fun, though, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Not
Hopefully
for
there's
you.
going to be tons and tons of golazos,
For the Sounders.
Sounders. I just want the greatest series between two of the greatest clubs in North America.
I didn't know Club America was coming to town this week.
Oh! So we're going to talk a little bit of soccer today, and we're going to talk Champions League. We're going to talk a little LAFC.
That was under 48 seconds, by the way.
And we're going to talk, obviously, to our keynote guest here, Mr. Walter Jones.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Doing good.
And then Jose Moreno.
Yep.
is
I'm
here
looking
as
forward
well.
to it.
I'm going to go through the introductions. Obviously, Tom Bureau's out tonight. Mark hid so that he can just watch the show today. Perfect. Adam is producing and not microphone today. I'm Dave Clark at Better Than, your host tonight, SonarFeed. To my left, probably your right, is...
Jose Moreno.
Where do we find you on Twitter?
At Moreno Jose A.
And to his left, here if you're live, and who knows how it looks on YouTube, is NFL Hall of Famer. I can't tell you how. Yeah, I can't tell you how many Pro Bowls and All Pro and all
Oh, that's
that.
nine?
Let's get that number straight.
Is Mr. Walter Jones.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Live, ready to go, man. Yes. We got an icon of Seattle sports in the house talking football. And I'm not talking Football. I'm talking football.
Yeah, we'll talk about both ways to spell it today. Yeah, you can follow him on Twitter at BigWalt71.
That's right. Big Walt 71. Big Walt 71. At Big Walt 71.
And then finally,
and to his left, your right, Hugo Garcia, a.k.a. at Me Vida Seattle. Someone mute that guy, please.
All right. To just really quick, we reached out to Walt through Jose because Walter Jones is now a photographer, and I've heard him doing radio commentary. He's big on KJR these days. Hosts arguing over what to call the text segments, but seeing you out there. One of our photographers took a picture of you being a photographer. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Jose and what he's doing to promote Best to Ever Do It. We're going to talk about the Special Olympics. We're going to talk about the Seattle Sounders, the Seattle Seahawks, the Seattle Reign. We're going to ask the SonarFeed questions.
Hot seat.
Yeah, so it's a big show. We got about an hour ahead of us.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk about that little club. Also, the one that we're playing against. Chivas Guadalajara.
You got
the most historic club in Mexican soccer.
The one that almost got relegated a couple seasons ago, right?
That
they changed the rules in order to get him.
I'll just leave it to you guys
the
at this. The Mexican language came up with the own word of campeonísimo for them. They started that word. This one word was created, which means the most champion of all time. All in one word.
I speak LA Unified School District Spanish, and I don't think that's correct.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. It's on, man. It's really on.
We got somebody with split loyalties here today. Well, Hugo,
it's on.
Hugo is from Guadalajara.
Yes.
It's his boyhood club, and now he gets to see his adulthood club face them in, the biggest game of the year.
It is, pretty much, man. The most important serious game they've ever played between two clubs.
Let's kind of start with what you guys were doing almost right before you got here. We saw some tweets. You hung out with the Seattle Reign a little bit this afternoon. What were you doing with the Reign? I know you were there with Lauren Barnes Lou, and was it Bev?
Yep.
Bev Yanis, or Gobel. I got him backwards again,
Giannis.
didn't I?
That's
Bev
it.
Yanis.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just trying to get back to the community, man. I've been working with Jose right now. Just want to be a part of most of the city sports here, man. It's been great. So I got a chance to get out there and meet those girls today, man. It was a great time, man. So anytime you can get back to show your support for those people, it's pretty cool.
And then for yourself, soccer's a really new thing for you, right? The getting into the.
It's definitely to see it live, So I didn't watch it on TV, but to be a part of it, I've been to a couple of games, but to get on the sideline and the things that I'm doing now with the photography is pretty cool. So to be a part of it and see the fans, it kind of reminds you of when I was playing football.
Oh yeah.
And so the fans, the city is pretty into their sports here. So to be a part of it, to see those fans, the way that they show the love for their team, it's pretty awesome to be a part of it.
Are we going to see you shoot in a rain game as well probably this year?
Definitely. What I'm saying? Any opportunity I get to do that, I'm looking forward to it. It's a situation where I want to kind of show people or show athletes that you have an opportunity to do other things, to put your feet into other things. And for me, I get a chance to do that now. So it give a chance to those guys to see that they can do whatever they want to. I try to instill that into my kids too, that they have an opportunity. That I've been blessed to play football. Now they got an opportunity to do whatever they want to. It's just not you're not stuck to just one thing. So my kids got a chance to do that. So I'm trying to showing them that anything that I want to be a part of, something I want to try, I have the opportunity to do it. So that's what I'm doing now.
What's the transition been like for you? Like we know you as a hard worker.
Yeah.
Obviously, the history of that, like
it's been fun. What I'm saying? I have enjoyed retirement. I haven't had no midlife crisis yet, but I'm enjoying time. I think the thing that I've done, I did a great job of, I guess you would say, doing the right thing. I guess, or I would say saving my money. I guess doing the right things. I say and for me, I'm able to do. I can sit around and I can decide on what I want to do. And I think that's the cool thing about it. So I'm at that point in my life right now where I can do that, and I'm surrounding myself around good people that's definitely helping me and put me in those right directions.
And I think one thing that's important to say here is that Walter's a very, very humble guy, right? Walter does a lot with the community. He's always, looking for ways to participate, to help raise funds for, we did the John Howitt Kick Hunger Challenge. Mm-hmm. He won't talk about it, right? I mean, he's involving himself in all these things, and he's doing it because he truly believes that this Seattle is now his home, right? So he officially moved here. He's been coming here off and on for 20 years.
Yeah, I've been here for 20 years.
But he's been a Seattleite for a little while now, and he does all these things for the community. I got to tell you a story. One of our partners from the Space Needle reached out to us and asked me if I could get Walter to do a video for a lady that was going through cancer that ended up passing away. And Walt, I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, buddy, I need you to do this favor for me. Would you mind?" And there was no hesitation, man. And it feels so good to know that you live in a community where athletes of his caliber, because realistically speaking, he's a Hall of Famer. He's very well respected. He was so willing to help this lady out that we got a message back from them saying that she wanted to marry him, right? The lady ended up passing away, unfortunately, but that's just a small example of what he's doing to truly make an impact in our community, and I think it needs to be highlighted because he's, like I said, he's a humble guy. He's not going to sit here and tell you about that.
I've told Walt this, and everybody else here knows that I listen to KJR a lot. Like, if they put a meter on me, their ratings would go up just on my own because I'm in the car all day with my job. And I know you've talked about going to, like, your kids' football games, mm-hmm. and the hosts know that you're signing autographs and all that, but you kind of downplay that. You're out kind of not as a normal guy because people you're rather recognizable, but you're out there in the community. You're not inside like a gated neighborhood and high. I mean, you probably could be. But
You know what? I enjoy that. I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy like just coming here and meeting everybody. You know, I'm at like you say, you asked about the transition part. The transition part is meeting people and instilling yourself into the community and being able to go to the local places and find out the cool places, because when you're playing, you don't get those opportunities. You kind of everything is kind of more secluded where you can and where you should be. So for me now, so that I'm officially a Washingtonian, I can come in and I enjoy coming to the local spots and having a good time with good friends and meet good friends. So you get a chance to know the city and know the area.
Sunday night, you're down on the field in a stadium that you know pretty well.
Yeah.
You've been on the field before. You've been at the jersey retirement and some Hall of Fame celebrations and that kind of. But this was different. You were working. What's it like having all that noise and all that activity around you, and you're just looking through the lens?
Yeah, trying to focus on
it's pretty. It's one of those situations where I was telling Jose about it. The cool thing about it is, even though I played on this field, it's pretty cool to see the athletes, you know what I'm saying, in every sport. So to get a chance to see those guys up close, you watch it on TV and you still don't get the true feel of it when you're seeing it live, and you get a chance to see those guys in practice and how hard they work. So you can take your hat off to those guys because you know those guys are working hard. So for me to be able to be that close, to get a chance to try to catch that moment that, you know, everybody want to see, and I want to be a part of that, so I'm working towards that. But to be there, you know, I can separate that part from seeing my number up there or seeing my name up there, because I know that I left everything on the football field, and right now I'm into something that I really want to be good at it and want to work hard at it. So it's pretty cool to sit there and take pictures, because I know that I'm definitely focused on what I'm doing right now, and that's want to be good at what I'm doing, and that's taking pictures.
You've got something else coming up outside of photography. Jose let me know you're going to be involved more heavily with the Special Olympics this year than any time before. What's that mean? What's that give you the opportunity to do?
That's great, because when I went to the Pro Bowl every year when I used to go to Hawaii, that's 9 times to Hawaii, so I want to get that right. And so when you get there, they ask the players to decide on what they want to do. They have, you might go to the Army base, you might decide. So they have the Special Olympics there every year, so you get a chance to work with those kids. So I did that every year. So when they came to Seattle, I got a letter that I want to be an ambassador for that, and I kind of like, this is something I want to be a part of. So for it to be coming to Seattle and where I played my entire career here, and what they do is they bring in different kids from each state. So I'm gonna be able to represent my state, so that's going to be pretty cool to be able to do that. But to be a part of that, to see, to see those kids go out there and perform and try to perform at a very high level, and to root them on. And so for me, I'm grateful to be an ambassador. And like we was telling today that we need volunteers, so anybody that can come out and volunteer and help out, it's something that you will never forget. And to be a part of it is very special, to be out there helping those kids.
Let's test my memory here a little bit. I believe it's SpecialOlympicsWA.org.
Yes, I am ill-prepared. I will look that up.
That's okay.
We'll get that up for you guys here
Right, we got
shortly.
supercomputers
I've listened to Mike Gastineau say it a few times, so I'm hoping that he's a KJR alum, kind of like myself. So everybody's testing my knowledge here. We'll get that, but we'll definitely give you the proper website for that in just a moment.
I got it if you're ready for it.
Yeah, here we go.
SpecialOlympicsUSAGames.org.
Okay, USA Games. That's right, because Seattle's hosting the USA Games.
Yeah, and then we're working with their PR team, Jay Molina Smelly, amazing lady, and like Walter said, we need volunteers. We need to make sure that people are coming out and truly becoming a part of this and taking pride in the fact that it's happening in Seattle. We need to represent well.
Well, I'm going to not be humble for a little bit and just let you guys know this group of Sounders fans, and particularly the SonarFeed people, you're going to get volunteers out of this.
Awesome.
We've raised about $25,000 for the Lamar Nagel Foundation, hosting a FIFA soccer tournament here at the Berliner Pub on a few occasions.
That's awesome.
So, and then the Sounders community, whether it's for Haiti relief, for Japan earthquake, Special Olympics, Seattle Children's Autism Center, those are all functions that we've participated in and raised funds for. So I'm confident that
Yeah, and
you're
similarly,
going to get a bump.
a large part of the community also is ECS
Copita.
community and La Copita. And every summer we hold a soccer tournament. And this last one, for example, the Washington State Special Olympics team played versus the Oregon State Special Olympics team in a soccer match at Starfire here. It was a pretty awesome experience, and we've had relationships. I know ECS at least has had those events and fundraisers with the Special Olympics of Washington Soccer. So it's definitely something that we can definitely
Definitely
Get
follow
out.
Big Walt for more information.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. And then, like he was saying, like I think what at the 100 day that's when it's going to start speeding up, and you're going to see more stuff out and stuff. So it should be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to it.
And just a little teaser, Walter and I are going to go atop the Space Needle tomorrow.
What?
And we're going to shoot some social videos, not only for the Special Olympics, but we'll make sure to give you guys a shout out too. We're really excited. I think the impact that this is going to have on our community and the involvement, especially with your reach, right? Because it is very well known that the ECS and the rest of the supporter
La Barra
groups,
Fuerza
La
Verde.
Barra Fuerza, does a really good job of becoming involved in the community. So we really want to thank you for having us on to talk
Yeah,
about
man,
this.
we're excited to learn more about what you guys are doing.
Are you going to see the new glass floor?
We're actually going to go to the very top.
very
So
top.
we're not going to the observation deck.
I couldn't do it. I'm scared of
I'm
heights.
looking
Yeah.
at it. I couldn't do that either.
I've done
I
it
could do
before
it.
when we did the 12-man flag, so it's kind of like it's a different kind of feel trying to get that high, though. So it's pretty cool, but that's a lot of work for a big man. So
I know that's right.
So, Walt, you talked about the athletes, and I know some of the Sounders and the current Seahawks, they've hung out. The Seahawks watched MLS Cup back when they won it. They were on the road, and so there's that photo of like Richard and Russell watching the game. They weren't at this level when you were playing, but now that you've gone to a couple practices and a couple of games, are there players that you started to connect with a little bit, or that you?
right now I'm just just kind of like being there and getting to know the guys. I know the goalie. I get a chance to talk to him. Fry. I get a chance to talk to him. So for me personally, just getting to know their names and getting to know them personally because being an athlete and playing at a very high level, for me personally, I just want to get away from that part and kind of just get to know them as what they do when they're not playing soccer and stuff like that. So because I have to always be able to, now that I'm getting into that field. I understand how reporters and, you have to come out and do your job. But I'm always thinking like, I'm a player first. When I was on the radio, sometimes you get on the radio and they want you to say this or say that. And I always think back that, I once was a player too. So I always take that in consideration when I'm doing whatever I'm doing in that field. Is always to respect the player, because I understand how tough that can be, how tough a job can be. So for me right now, I'm just, learning the game, and I'm enjoying doing the photography part of it, but I'm enjoying the fact that I'm getting a chance to, you'll be around the 12s all the time, but getting a chance to be around the Sounders fan it's pretty awesome to be a part of that. So I'm definitely learning something every time I get a chance to go to a game and getting a chance to be on here with you guys. So it's definitely getting me to be a part of another side of city sports here. So it's been great.
And Walter's actually going to be doing a series called 7 to 1, where he'll be asking 7 questions to different players. We already talked to Roldan, older Roldan, the senior one, and he agreed to it. He's really excited about Walter doing that. Fry's definitely going to be next, and I got to tell you guys, Alex, Matt, Kelly over at the Sounders PR team, they've been nothing but gracious, and I think that the true catalyst for that is the fact that Walter's taking this really serious, right? Walter's coming out to practices. He's coming out and watching, the games, and we talk about it from time to time. And I'm really impressed by the fact that he's embraced this so well, because he didn't have to, right? And that's the real key. He didn't have to do any of this, and he's doing it. And unfortunately, for good or bad, he is Walter Jones, right? So he can walk into a lot of places and be like, "Hey, I want to do this," but he's really coming in at the ground level and working and doing doing the things that he needs to do to earn the respect of other journalists in the area. I think that's very important.
It's kind of interesting thinking of you as a photographer, because we've seen you out on the field. Yeah. Looking back to those teams that you were on, Who of your teammates would you have expected to be the photographer?
Oh man, that's a tough question, man. Like, I don't know, because usually like when you're playing the game or when you do stuff with the players, you're not allowed to bring cameras in. So you never saw guys, at that time, like, with the technology now, it wasn't a lot of, you didn't see, nowadays you can share pictures on your phone and on Instagram now. So I don't know for sure. At that time, when I had my kids, when we went on vacation, I would say me because, I was talking to him, I haven't done it at this height of professional, but I have bought the nice cameras and took pictures on vacation. So this is something that you want to be able to talk to guys that have done it and kind of learn from them. And honestly, I was telling him, sometimes when you go into that field, people think that's something that you don't want to do or you're not serious about it. And honestly, they have embraced me. I have had some of the top photographers come up to me and give me pointers on what to do and how to do it, and wish me luck. And if it's something that I really want to do, stick with it. And so that's really been pretty cool from the first time I went out yesterday for them to do that for me. So that's pretty awesome.
Kind of the other side, which of your former teammates would give you the most gruff for?
Probably O-line. A lot of, it's
like Toback?
Maybe Hasselback.
Oh.
So Hasselback was, Matt was pretty funny. I used to tell him all the time. He used to come up to me in the locker room. He used to ask me, like, he would always try to, like, he would want to say a joke or something. So he'll come up to me and say, hey, Walt, man, you think I should say this joke? I say, hey, Matt, you be careful now. I said, don't joke up on a whooping. So,
Yeah.
So, you have to be careful. He had to run a joke to me. So I was kind of like the guy to help him to run a joke to make sure that he don't
Screen him.
Yeah, like, hey, no, don't. But
Don't want to open a can of worms now.
Exactly. But it was fun though. But I think everybody, because I think a lot, for me personally, when I came in the league, I wasn't a talker. So for me to be even on here talking, a lot of times, they when I was doing the radio, everybody said, man, I can't believe Walt is talking now, because they didn't see me as that type of guy. I didn't go in front of the cameras. But now you're getting a chance. Now I did it, and I have done it at a very high level. So it's pretty cool to get a chance for people to get to know you as a person instead of just a player. So now that they can see that, there's more to me than just going out there playing football.
And you were doing 2 shows a week by the end of the season, right?
Yep.
One Softy and
I was doing one with Softy on Mondays. I was on Monday with Softies. I was on I was doing Thursday with Ian and Puck. And then this year I did it. I was going on Puck on Monday, Softy on Tuesday, then I do Ian on Thursday now. So hopefully,
and spot filling in with Dick Fane.
Exactly. That's a long one there, because now that's where you trade, because you don't want to be predicated to just doing football. So you're trying to you watch sports, you know sports. You don't have to do a lot, but I enjoy that part of it. So you can give your aspect on everything that's going on. So hopefully, next year that some more opportunities presents itself, and it continually grows. So that's what I'm doing now, just continually growing, and like I say, being a part of the community and giving a chance to people to hear you, to get to know you as a person. So for me, like I said earlier, for me is to let my kids know, because my kids didn't get it. When I was playing ball, my kids were younger, so they didn't get a chance to see the hard work. Now they, once they got old enough to understand what was going on, I was retired, kind of, enjoying the retirement. So now they finna graduate from high school. So I just want to show them that it takes hard work. Find out what you want to do in life and put everything into it.
Well, let's get a little bit of that other sports knowledge.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that game? I know you experienced it in a different way, but the that 1-0 loss yesterday.
Me, for me, just being a new to this, what I'm saying, I understand that, you get one goal, that can be the game. So, I thought that, they played hard. I think they played hard throughout the game. They was trying their best to get that goal. So I think for me, that kind of shows, that they never did show any quit. They continually kept playing throughout the game. So for me, that's what I learned. And like I was talking to the girls today from the rain, and they asked me how to watch games. So being on the sideline now, you can learn to see the setup. When you first start watching it, you just watching you waiting on goals. But now, I've been watching it for the last couple of years now, and now I can see the setup. And now, you kind of like see them when they get the ball on one end, and you can see the other guy running. So you can see those setups now. So that what makes the game fun. And watching it live definitely definitely make it a lot better on TV because now you're seeing the whole field and you're seeing the fans are kind of giving you the anticipation of what's going on. It's almost like football, when you can kind of like I used to tell like if you get beat for a sack, they get beat too many for a sack, probably 23 times for a sack. So
Baby.
So. But like I was, and sometimes like if your guy beat you and Hasselback or any quarterback can get away from it, even the fact that they don't see it, and then you get to the sideline, you ask them, say, hey man, how did you know to use the guy? The guy came loose. He said because the crowd will let you know, so they can hear the crowd, the anticipation. So the same thing at the soccer game is that you can hear that anticipation when something's going to happen. So it doesn't change. So you can hear that anticipation. So you kind of can see that. So now you're looking at those setup, how they run and how they changing positions to try to get the score.
Damn, who is this guy?
Yeah, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
Like he broke it down like he's been watching the game for years. Let's go. That's awesome, man.
So, Jose, did you have him in the south end there in the second half?
No, we actually just stayed in the north end, and so full disclosure, we went out to a suite at halftime and kind of hung out a little bit.
We were saved by the rain, though. We got in the rain.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in the rain, and yesterday I was just his chaperone. So I was essentially his boss yesterday. So I got to boss him around a little bit, which is really cool if you think about it.
Yeah.
But no, so we did make our way down to the south end, and I introduced him to a couple of people, which is how we ended up here. The ECS gave us permission to go up there and hang out, but as his first game, I wanted him to experience it on the field and truly understand it. And I got to tell you, man. I was standing next to him for most of the game, and I directed him a couple of times, and then I just kind of let him go. And then, if you look at the pictures, you'll see that he has great eye. He has a great eye for what's happening. He has that ability to anticipate things happening, and I think that comes from his football background.
Yeah, no question.
Because just being on the field, and it's kind of, for us, it's all so fast, but I guess at your level, it slows down a little bit.
I don't know if it slows down. I think for me, like he's saying, having an eye for it, you're trying to, like you said, you're trying to anticipate what's going to happen. And then you're trying to think, for me, I'm thinking like, what do people want to see? I think that's what you have to see. You have to see it before it happens. So for me, I'm just trying to, you might get a guy that's probably that might, I guess is the right word, clip a guy or, slide up on it. So you're just trying to, I was talking to someone, they were telling me like, what shot do you want? And he said more like face expressions.
Gary Wright
was saying like, that's a lot of time people don't get those shots.
Legend.
And for me personally, I think those shots are more like especially being in Seattle, to see those shots in the rain. I think those are when you get those are shots because you get that. I just saw a couple of shots where you get that rain. So just trying to find that. You want to get the goal shot. I think a good shot would be like getting a shot for the guy blocking the goalie blocking the ball or something like that. But I'm just learning, man. I just hopefully that it continue to grow for me, and hopefully I can get that shot.
One of the questions we have from the crowd already is, what kind of camera equipment and lens are you using right now?
You got to ask him, man, because he
that was my equipment.
I haven't put no money into the camera yet. I'm still trying to get to that point. So what I'm saying. So I think we had a pretty good camera though.
Yeah, we had a Canon, and then we had a 70 to 200 2.8 MK2. Okay. So it was a solid lens. The equipment, we have access. Glazers has been really kind to us. Glazers will hook us up. Glazers will let me rephrase that. Glazers will hook up Walter with whatever he wants. I don't have that much pull in this town. My work is really, really kind about his experience. I work for CNN in Espanol. They've made it very clear that anything I need for him to have a good time is there. We have a relationship with Nikon. I'm a Nikon guy, but I figured Canon would be a better piece for him. We love. And here's the other thing: if you guys want us to use your equipment, just let me know. We're happy to. Right. We're happy to make sure that he's using your stuff.
You've been a photographer for some time now. That's kind of part of what you do, because you do PR and journalism and photojournalism, kind of everything. Which is, I've been there. I know what it's about. And here I am hosting the show, right? Do you have a favorite shot that you've taken for soccer?
Yeah, and this is not going to play well with the crowd, but my first actual.
Definitely.
My first assignment was down in Portland, and I.
Who are ya?
Yeah, and I caught Gleason just, full stretch, tipping the ball over the bar. And, as my first professional shot, I thought that was really cool. You never forget it, right? You never forget that one moment where you're like, oh, this could potentially work. I know we have in the crowd a great photographer, Mr. Aquino, and he does a wonderful job. And I've looked at his work. I looked at his work from time to time, and you in this profession, like, as you know, you try to mimic other people's work, right? And it's important to get that inspiration from especially from local people who allow you to see that they're essentially gifting you their skill set, right? So I've seen some of the people's works here in the area, and it's just super cool, man.
That's awesome. You brought the hat low a little bit there. Yeah. No, it's great.
I can't see you.
No,
Try to see
don't
me?
worry about
What
it.
they trying to see me at?
Yeah, I try to see
Oh, that's
that.
the camera,
There's a
right
camera
Yeah.
right there, the black.
I got you. Okay.
Max has some questions.
So, what was?
Why don't you introduce yourself,
Oh,
sir?
my name's Max Aquino, photographer for Sound Heart. What was something that happened that you were not expecting when you had the camera? Like, what was different being on the field than you thought it would be?
I think the difference was trying to talking to Jose during the game. I think I got better as the game went along. Trying not to. He was teaching me to say if the ball is, if they kicking the ball to you, and you know they're about to score, you got to be able to catch that shot and then trying to get back. I think that was the hardest part, because you got to try to find your spot. And then you might have to zoom in or zoom out to try to get that shot. So I think that was, and I think the thing about how, I was more worried about how do you want to, do I want to, because when you're there around all the people that are shooting, you hear a lot, you try to listen to how they shooting.
They're burst.
Are they bursting,
Oh, yeah.
or are they so I was learning that. So I got to the point where, the first half I was doing that more. So I was just learning to try to get that one shot. So I think that was something that I learned. It was that to try to, not do as many bursts and try to find that one shot. So I think that was something that I learned as I was throughout the game.
529 pictures in the first half.
Very nice.
Wow.
What shot are you most proud of from? I saw your gallery, and I liked it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, the Vela was a pretty good shot,
Yeah.
because that was a shot, because like you say, working for him, he was just telling me shots to get. So I think, I think the cool thing about it was I was able to get a lot of shots out of that for him that he thought was a good shot. So I think, from that point, I think the one shot where the other goalie was going up there and he snagged the ball away from the guys that were finna score with his head. So I thought I like that shot I got. So it was some pretty good shots. I thought I did a pretty good job. So I think if I continue to keep working at it, I should get pretty good at it. I'm gonna try my best to get good at it.
So, looking through your own gallery, what's one thing you want to get better at for your next game out?
I think the number one thing is probably trying to learn how to. I think we was learning during the game is how to line up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you do editing and you try to line up. So I think it's more of just trying to get that perfect shot without having to worry about so much editing. I think that's the number one key. I think I have to work on trying to get that one shot. When you take that shot and he say that's a perfect shot without having to do all the, because he was, you learn a lot of stuff as you go, like doing the edging up, lining up. So trying to learn that, so when you look in there, you line up there, you putting everything center. So I think that, going back to your first question, I think that was the most on it, because when you just taking pictures on a vacation, you just snapping. So I think the one thing you're learning how to line those shots up and make sure that everything is in that square the way you want it to be in the square. So I think that was something I learned throughout the game.
And I just had the last question, and now it's gone. All right, so I'll hand this back if I think about it later.
Oh, those answers was that great that you just forgot to laugh?
But you know what? In the way you're
No, I'm just
answering
kidding.
and breaking down the answers, though, you could already tell why you had the success on the football field, and even off on what you do in the community from what we know, because from what Jose shares, and just knowing that athletes like to keep that stuff to themselves at times. You could tell you're taking this seriously as you did your profession, and you're taking advantage of the opportunity to open up to a new community of sports fans in Seattle, man. It's appreciated.
And I tell other people all the time. I tell my kids. I tell like when I did a little coaching. I think the number one thing is being coachable. I think just being around Jose a lot. He have said that to me a lot. Like being able to be coached. A lot of times like you say you're Walter Jones, but then you still want to be able to say, hey, if I'm learning something new, I want you to be able to. I can take criticism because I done played the game at a very high level. So there's nothing you can say to me to say, well, if I'm doing something wrong or I didn't do it right, I will take that, and I guarantee the next time I'll try my best not to do it again. So I think you learn that from playing the game of football that, hey, I can be coachable. And a lot of times guys can't be coachable, and I've definitely took that to heed, that if there's something that I want to do and I'm learning, I'm willing to take whatever someone tells me. So
you coaching him, Jose?
Well, I'm no, not really. I'll tell you what though, to kind of elaborate on what he said. It's intimidating to work with somebody of his caliber, right? Because he is really good at a lot of things. But there he is laughing. But one of the things that I do want to share with you guys is his ability to not only take that criticism but break it down, right? One of the things that we want to do with the Sounders is we want to sit down with a couple of players and ask how they break down film. Right, because Walter was great at breaking down film. There's a reason he ended up in the Hall of Fame, and that is because he took everything he did very serious. And I do the same thing as well for my profession, right? He's laughing right now.
I'm going to say something, because they said we can speak. I'm going to say something.
No.
You interrupted me. Go ahead,
man. You're good.
Yeah, because I whooped ass and took names. No, just kidding.
There's that. I've seen a couple of clips, but I think if you can find people you can work with, find people you can connect with, and bring something to the table. That's the key, right?
No question.
His relationship and mine is great in the sense that we're always pushing each other to do better, right? He claims I'm a little bit rough around the edges at times when I work.
That's because he roots for Club America. That's why.
That might be why. Got him. Yeah. And he's always reminding me, hey, listen, softening it up a little bit. And I take that and I apply it, and vice versa. When we're doing public appearances, I got to tell you, man, Walt will start talking to someone, 3 or 4 people start coming to him, and then I have to grab him and be like, hey, we got to roll. We got to keep moving. And that's hard to do, right? Because he loves his fans. We went up to Everett. He dropped the puck at the Silver Tips. You were there. Nice. Yeah. And I got to tell you, we went outside the suite just to sign a couple autographs. And next thing you know, we have a line of about 30 people. And the security person comes up and he was like, hey, listen, we just can't do that. And we were going to cut it out at a certain point, and he saw this baby, and he was like, make sure you grab that, right? Make sure that you get that baby, and make sure that baby gets his autograph, his picture, right? And that's so important, right? Because this person was at the end of the line, was going to get completely cut off, and he cares about everybody, right? And an adult missing their picture is one thing, but if the mom wants a picture with the baby, that's a whole different thing. And that's the little things that make a difference in people's lives.
No
right?
question, man.
You're good, Jose, man. You're pretty good.
Thanks, man.
It's making you feel great right now, right? Back on the soccer sphere.
Is there a question?
Question for you. If you
From the
had
crowd,
a
Mark.
photographer, Max in this case, what question would you ask?
Off mic, Mark asks what question Walt would have for another photographer rather than Jose.
And Max has shot for the Sounders in Mexico City at Azteca Stadium, all over the country, some of the biggest games. It's all right. When it comes to some of the biggest games in Sounders history, this guy's been there.
Oh, man, what I would ask, I probably would ask, for me personally, I would ask, equipment-wise, I see a lot of guys out there with all the equipment, I understand, but I would ask, for me personally, I'm more of making it more simple as possible, so I would ask what type of lens if I just could go to the game, what lens I would use, and I can get every shot that I want at that game, but I know that, if you want to get all these shots, you have to have different lenses, and I'm learning that, but for me, starting out now, I'm like, what lens, and what do you look for in a soccer game? For me personally, I'm looking, but still, what are, you don't, if you've been a professional soccer photographer, you already been at so many games, so you can kind of anticipate when you want to take pictures. So I would say, how do you learn that part of the game when you want to know when to take pictures?
I would say that for the first part, which lens do you need? That's the 70-200 f2.8. That's your gold standard in almost every sport you shoot.
You're welcome.
You're going to see guys with the 500, the 600, the 300. Those big lenses.
Yeah.
Those are great, but you don't need them.
Okay.
The one you need is the 70-200 because your best photos are going to be the ones that happen right in front of you, and it's going to be the emotion on the, like what you mentioned, the emotion on the face. Those are the photos that get people to love the photos the most.
Okay.
And those usually happen near the goal. It's either joy and glee from a goal, or it's just despair and frustration from missing. And those are your key photos. And I have a 300 and I have a 70-200. Probably 80% of my photos are off of the 70-200.
Okay.
The key is zooming as tight as you can and aim at the face, because most people, especially in low light like we see in the stadiums, you're going to find that your focus is on their chest because that's what the camera likes. Aim at the face and you're going to get what you want, and stay on. And especially when if the ball ricochets off the post, the tendency is to follow the ball. Don't follow the ball. Stay on the player, because that's where your reaction is going to be.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen a ball go in for us in a while, because the guy shoots and I stay. Click, 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 click. Stays on him. Yeah.
Cool.
You see the goal. You know that there's a goal.
Oh, I hear it. I hear the goal.
Yeah.
I don't see the goal.
Cool.
So.
Alrighty.
One of the other crowd questions is about where you see the game of soccer, and how it fits into the American sports landscape. We talked about when you were a player, there was a team there.
Yeah.
They were the Sounders. It was at CenturyLink Field, but it's a little bit different now. And the Sounders aren't necessarily what's going on in the rest of.
You know, what I see now is that the Sounders can hold their own now. So for me for me to be a part of it and see the growth, you know what I'm saying, to the success that they'd had, like I say, they can hold their own. So I can see, it's just being successful, because the fans and the owners, everybody believe in it, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to continually to keep this team successful and to be in the hunt. So for me to be on the sideline to see it, to be a part of it, and to show my fans and show the community that, hey, that I'm supporting more than just the Seahawks or any other sport, that I want to kind of support all the teams here in the city of Seattle. So it's been fun, man. I think they're going to be great for years and years to come. So it's been amazing, man, just to see the things that they're able to do.
What about young Walt? Go back 30 years ago, and if you now tells young Walt you're going to be doing photography at a soccer game.
If I was talking to young Walt, I would tell him. I think for me, I don't want to. I think I did it. I take a lot from my high school coach. My high school kind of prepared me for what I wanted to do once I got to the league. I stayed focused on what I had in front of me. That was to go out and try to, because I tell people all the time, a lot of times, because like you say, a lot of times people don't want to hear the truth. But I tell people the truth all the time about football is that I use football for, sometimes you say, well, I use football for what it was. I knew football was going to be a way out of where I came from, my family and stuff. So I definitely was using football for that. There was no other reason to try my best for football to take care of my family. And so and I put everything I had into that. So I would tell young Walt, I would tell him to get in his books earlier, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that was the number one thing that I kind of, and that was more of I'm kind of from a family of 8, and my mom raised us all. So I kind of was, the moments where I had my, when I was kind of being, I would say I wasn't being a bad kid, but I kind of was mad because my mom had it was kind of like a generation gap. Like she had 4 kids that was like going through high school, and I was the younger kid. So she worked hard to get them through high school. So when it came to my turn to say, Mom, can you help me? Then she was kind of like, she was kind of like burnt out. And so I kind of took that upon it. So I just didn't do schoolwork. So from that standpoint, I would say it was my responsibility. It was never her responsibility for me to do what I needed to do. So once I figured that out, it was almost too late, but I had to work hard to get where I'm at now. But, I wouldn't change nothing because everything. Like I always think everything happens for a reason to kind of give you that drive to what you want to do in life. So, but like I say, I use football for what it was to get me out of the situation I was. I was able to bless my family and to take care of my family. So, I can't,
Circling back, when you're talking about family and growing up, were you ever exposed? Did you ever see soccer around when you were a youth in Alabama when you were going to school or growing up, or maybe even at Florida State when you went to school?
A little bit when I got to college, you know what I'm saying? It was not introduced to me, like I said, till I got to college. So,
Okay.
And then you like a lot of time, when the soccer was getting big here, it was never a situation where you had a falling. It was almost more if something was happening big now they put it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now you start watching it but now with now being in Seattle and seeing with the Sounders, now you want to be a part of that. Even if you don't know nothing about soccer, like somebody was talking to me today and asked me about how did you like the game? I said, man, the games are great. I said, if you ever get a chance, it's almost like now, everybody's, even with the Seahawks, the Seahawks have built something so great. The fan base have built something so great with the crowd noise. So people, when they come to Seattle, they want to say, well, I want to go to a Seahawks game. So now I'm telling people, hey, if you ever get a chance to come out here, go to a Sounders game. Don't watch it on TV. Get to a game. Experience it. So that's that's what I want to do. I want to experience all the leagues. I want to experience that because I ask them questions all the time about who got the fans, who fans this, who fans do that. So even though with the LA team yesterday, with what they was doing, that's the stuff that you enjoy as a player and as a fan to see how different teams,
do their thing.
Their thing, because that's what you want to do. You want to see that, and that's what makes it fun. You don't want to root for them, but you want to see what they do. You want to learn from them. You can say, well, let's do that. Let's be more of that. So for me, it's great to be a part of that and to see all that stuff happening now.
No, I think that's amazing because I'm a big Seahawks fan. Been to season ticket for a while and grew up here after I immigrated from Mexico, and I became more of a Seahawks fan because there wasn't that much football. I watched soccer. I watched it with my dad, but after going to high school here and going to school here, all my friends made fun of soccer. I have like some good homies that I tailgate with, and we go to Seahawks game. I cannot I've been tailgating with these guys for a decade. I cannot get a couple of them to come out to a game, and I'm telling them, I'm like, dude, you guys don't know. You got to come out to this game. So hearing that from someone that they respect as a fan like yourself to kind of recommend and speak out and say, you know what, you got to experience the soccer game, I think is huge for our fan base, especially in Seattle and the whole country, really, for folks to know, like, soccer's legit. You got to just experience it.
We're going to take a little bit of a detour from soccer talk, from photo talk.
Yeah.
We're going to do some rapid fire kind of questions. We call them the SonarFeed questions.
Okay.
He has been warned on a couple of them. But we'll just start off simply with what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Oh man, this is a really hot question.
My favorite is the s'mores.
Let's go! Let's go!
Woo! Baby, get the box! Win the box! Get the box! Win the box! Oh, come
Let's go! Team S'mores in the house.
Win the box!
Wait, did somebody just boo back there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop at the store when I leave here.
Who does that?
Safeway.
Boom.
Were you raised by
I have
wolves?
some in my car. I'm about to go get some. Let's go!
Hold on. Were you raised by wolves?
Drop the mics, yo! Everybody drop the mics.
Yeah, the Thin Mint Samoa's battle is very harsh, but neither of them understand that you can have a tag-along as a protein bar. It's got peanut butter in it, man. That's good protein.
Is the tag along? It's the peanut butter?
Chocolate with the peanut butter.
Nah, what's the other one we had? What's the Dos-A-Dos. Yeah. That's the backup. Dos-A-Dos is the backup.
Oh.
Hey, full disclosure, Mexican people don't eat Girl Scout cookies with Maria cookies.
Oh, well, we could go into the Mexican cookies versus Girl Scout cookies debate, bro. And we could be here, like, serious talk. We here for days. But quick, jumping on to one of the questions, you might have gotten a preview, but Tupac or Biggie?
Oh.
You better answer this truthfully because I already asked you this in the car and you gave me a whacked answer.
There's going to be a follow-up with that.
I would go lyric. I would go with Tupac.
Let's go West Coast.
Yes, but oh man, that's a tough one, man. Because Biggie got some, like for if you pop Tupac in, you can listen to Tupac. Got a lot of stuff out there, so you can listen to, like, if you're having a house party, you can just but then Biggie got some stuff that it's he's talking some serious stuff. So for me personally, I like the way that he raps and what he talks about. So it's kind of cool. So that's kind of him. But I would go with Tupac if I had to choose. If I had to take one CD, I would take Tupac CD.
Is that the right answer, Jose?
No, that's not what he told me in the car. He said he didn't like West Coast rap. But
Well, he's
he
from the
also
East
listens
Coast,
to
but he
country.
recognizes
West
when we're
Coast
in
though.
the
It's
car,
it's
though.
not about West Coast or East Coast. It's like that's two rappers, man. Like you don't go West Coast. East
Come
Coast.
on, man.
Because Biggie said he's going back to Cali and all that too, though. So it's not like when Biggie said I'm going back to Cali. Cali.
Hang on. You go. I don't want to steal you. Go.
Oh man, so food wise,
Oh man.
I might already know because one of my boys is Jeremy Bryant, the chef.
Oh man, nice, great
Yeah,
chef in the
yeah,
world, man. The
Jeremy's
best,
the man.
the best.
But what I really need to know, I'm a self-proclaimed taco connoisseur, and it's what is your favorite kind of taco? And let's just leave it at that. What's your favorite kind of taco?
Connoisseur taco. That's the favorite time. That's what I go for every time.
Solid.
That's what I go with every time.
And this is not an advert, but we are very big proponents of El Rinconcito.
Yeah.
No
They're
question.
not paying us.
No
They're
question.
not paying us
They're
at
open
all.
till like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But
and
if
they
you
drop
want to,
it.
But
contact
if
Jose.
you want to sponsor SonarFeed,
And they
reach
Let's
into
go.
them.
and they drive through too.
And
Yes.
the drive-through is legit. So there's sponsorship opportunities. Reach out to these guys. They could use the budget, and there could be a segment called Tacos with Walt and Jose.
Oh,
Let's
Just
go.
Walt.
Let's get
Tacos
Hugo in
with
the
Walt.
mix. Let's get
Tacos
Hugo in
with
the
Walt.
mix.
Yeah, and Hugo
Yeah.
and Walt. Just
Let's
saying.
go.
You can tell which of us is the PR expert right now. Yeah. So, Walt, somewhat related. If you had to have one last meal, the infamous last meal question, what are you eating and drinking?
Hot pot. Walt's big into hot pot right now.
Man, there's one by my work.
If I had to have my one last meal, I
Yeah.
probably would. I have to go back home south and go with what my mom cooks me every time I go home. I would probably do. She does steamed cabbage with buttermilk cornbread, thin, not thick. And you want it? And she gonna give me the edges of the cornbread. I don't get the middle of the cornbread. I get the edges of the
Nice.
cornbread. And she does baked chicken. And then the way that she does a baked chicken, she bakes it and then she puts it on broil and then she got a crispy skin to it. Then she put some cheese on the top of the if I would say that would be my last meal. I would have my.
Man.
Yeah.
You haven't had cornbread till you have buttermilk cornbread because it's very not thick cornbread. So sometimes people do thick cornbread. You want to do a thin cornbread, and you want to get the edges. It's just like eating a brownie. You don't want the middle of the brownie. You want the edges of the brownie. So you always fight for the edge of the
Shallow pan.
Yeah, thin, and then you get the edge. So you want the gooey kind of crust of the brownie, but the cornbread you want it to be thin, but you want it to be crispy on the edges. And so that would be my last meal.
Bro, you need a cooking show. Forget all this.
That sounded
Let's get
good,
this guy on
didn't
a
it?
cooking show.
Who wants Walt's mom to cook for him now?
Yeah.
And I'll be home in 2 weeks, so I know she's not listening, but if y'all can get it to her,
Yo, we
mama,
need
I'll
to
be
see
home
the
in 2
photos.
weeks.
Full
We need to see the
disclosure, that's
photos.
also a sponsorship opportunity. Cooking with Walt's mama. Hit us up.
Walt Soul Food, yeah, let's get it on.
Is there a soul food place that you found here in the area that
I haven't found one.
reminds you of home?
Not really. A couple of years ago, they used to have the one down in Seattle off of Jackson and the 23rd. I can't remember the name of it. That was so long ago, but
I think I know which one you're
know what
talking
I'm
about.
talking
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah,
on
yeah.
Jackson 23rd. We used to go there all the time.
Yeah,
but
there's like a little mini store, like a
Yeah,
little south
yeah,
down.
yes.
I was there last year. That lady was legit. Still,
Yes.
I believe still there.
And that's where I first learned how to. They do cornbread. They do it like pancakes. I never had cornbread like that. So when they cook cornbread, they make it like a flapjack
batter.
or whatever they call it. A
wow.
flapjack. I don't know what they call
Okay,
pancakes.
okay.
They call pancakes up here. They call
yeah, they do. Yeah,
flapjacks or
no. Pancakes.
Flapjacks.
Yeah.
Flapjacks,
Yeah.
it
So
works.
it's like a
In Spanish, it's kekis.
So they make it.
You don't know about
Really?
kekis?
Bro, you speak a different
That's
Spanish than I
Jalisco.
do.
What do you call it? What do you call it?
them? Pancakes.
That's that Spanglish. That's that Spanglish. That's that Spanglish, man.
You just changed it.
I'm sorry.
No, it is yours. Is that LA? No. Hey, I
My
get
mom
you.
would be like, ¿Quieres pancakes? Sí. Muchos.
I don't think we can add this to the Sonar Feed questions for anybody else, but for you, what's your favorite car to push one block?
Actually, let
I
me
was
throw
going to
in.
say your car because you never had gas.
Wow.
I'm always. I drive a lot. I mean, as you guys know, we're pretty busy, so I fill up, and then by the end of the day, I'm either like too tired to fill up again, or I fill up on the way there. And every time Walt's in the car, I'm literally. I got that blinking light right now, telling me that I'm about to run out of gas. So yeah, the Nissan Rogue is his favorite.
Before we get away from pancakes, man, my boy Chris, who I tailgate with for all these years, and former all-state center here in Washington, would kill me if I didn't ask you. Who was your favorite pancake you ever busted in the NFL?
Oh man, that's a good question. I tell everybody this, man. I had that question asked. I was at a gig like two days ago, and I tell people I always go to YouTube and go to Walter Jones' Greatest Blocks. So it's in the NFC Championship game. I blocked the guy for almost 15 yards.
Carolina?
Yeah, Carolina, and I bumped him on the head.
Yo, no joke. So I was there, and that was.
The only thing I was mad about because Sean didn't score. He should have scored. He didn't score. I took him 15 yards and dumped him on his head.
I got about to watch
So if
this.
anybody want to see that, go to that. It's on YouTube.
Boom.
Just go to
Hey, there's another rapid question. Are you ever gonna take your trash out of my car?
Oh!
Have you ever been run over by a bus before?
It's never trash if somebody giving it to you when they get in their car. So you're like, well, it's in your car. You handed me something to eat. So it's not my trash if I'm in your car.
Sounds like the kids.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, another hot seat question. If you were to choose someone to play your biography on film in the movies, what actor is going to play you?
Ruben Studdard.
That's a good call. That's a good call, dude. Like, my son. Yeah, Big Dave. Yes, definitely. Yes. You know, Big Dave is like you never get that, because you're a big guy too. You never get that guy where you have to almost look up to. Like, it's only a couple of guys that I have to look up. Like,
Oh my God!
like Jonathan Ogden.
Woo!
That's a big, like he just like that's the one guy that because if you're around basketball players, you might look up to him, but football players, you don't get that opportunity to look up to guys, but like because most of the time everybody looking up to me like, oh man, you tall. So those are the type of guys that you see and you be like, man, that's a big dude because I know I'm a big dude. So for me to say that, that's a big dude. So. No, who else was big? Who that was at the golf tournament? Earl, Too
Tall
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Tall
He's
Jones!
a big dude.
Yeah.
The Police Academy,
Yeah.
man. Those were the jam back then.
He's a big dude too. Like
Yeah.
literally, when we was taking a picture, and I was trying. Usually when I take a picture with people, I can like lap across their shoulder. Like I can put my hand on this side. So when I took it with him, I had my hand in his son's back. I was like, dude, that's a big dude. Like, because I put my hands in his son's. I was like, dude, I'm trying to like get that hug, and I'm like. Man, like I was trying to like put it over here. I'm like, nah, let me put it. I put it like in the center. I'm like, man, that's a big dude. So, and that's hard for me to say. Like, man, that's a big dude. Like, and so when I got here, y'all was like, Big Jones, like, let me see. I was like, oh, is he finna fight? Or we finna?
Nah,
Like, are we finna arm wrestle? Like, I'm finna get in the stands? Like, oh man.
one of our listeners always wants us to ask this is, what book have you read most recently?
Oh man, what book have I read recently, man? Like, what book did I just read? I don't know. I haven't read a
The
book.
Bible. It's my
I haven't read a
favorite
book in a while though. I just haven't. Honestly, I usually try to read a book, but I haven't read a book in a while, man. I've been, I'm trying to think, man. Like, what book? Hold on, let me see. Hold up, I'm gonna look at my iBook.
Boom.
I know I got books. Let me see.
Do you already order defensive line? What's our book? I can't remember. But
Favorite book works too. Like, although Jose might have just done that one.
Oh, the book that I read before the movie came out. That was probably a couple years ago, so I know it's a long time. I read the book Concussions before it came out because I wanted to read because they was hyping the movie up, so I wanted to read the book. So I read the Concussion book. I got a couple. Let's see.
False advertisement. Concussions don't happen. It's false advertisement. Concussions don't happen.
Oh, and I read Junior Seau book too. So
oh wow.
so I got a couple books, man. Let's see. I read SEAL Team 6 book. Man, I'm telling you all my books. I'm like, jeez. I read Howard Mudd got a book. He was my first offensive line coach when I came as a rookie.
Yeah.
He got a book called The Views from the O-Line. It's a pretty good book. So So if y'all want to read a good
How'd
book.
you think you like that one? I mean, he was a coach of yours. And
Yeah, I thought it was, for him, he was the, because he was the guy that, you ever find that guy that take a chance on you? Because most of the time with offensive line coach, they have to convince, everybody know they scout him, but, if the offensive line coach to say, we want this guy, when I was doing my recruiting, like when you coming out for the draft, I visited a couple of teams. I visited the Rams, I visited Detroit, I visited Oakland, and I didn't have a visit to Seattle when I was leaving Oakland, because I thought I was going to sign with Oakland. Because
Wow.
Oakland showed the, but you can't read into that. I was telling guys, don't read into how they take care of you when you get there. When I went to Oakland, they did, they brought you in, they asked you questions, they do everything they had all the coaches there asking me all these kind of questions. So you think man, this is where I'm coming.
Grilling you, yeah.
And so when I was getting ready to leave Oakland, my agent called me and said, hey, we want you to stop in Seattle. I said, well, I thought I was going home. They're like, no, we need you to fly. It was literally a fly, come in, meet the coach, and leave. When I got here, there was nobody here. Only person here was the O-line coach. And I walked in the office, and he sat me down at the table, and he asked me one play. He showed me a play that I did in college and asked me, why did I do this and do that? And that was it. And I left, and I was like, they're not going to draft me.
So you're hardly there.
I came there. That's when they was over on the east side of Kirkland. So I literally came here. Everybody was gone. So when I got here, the coach was there. I met the offensive line coach, and we went over one play, and that was it. He walked me around the facility, but that was it. That was totally it. And I was like, there's no way. And then when the draft was going, I was like, there's no, because Seattle didn't show no kind of nothing. And then when they drafted Sean Springer, I'm like, there's not. Then they made the pick. And then they called me. So. And it was the best call. I think in the end, I thought that's probably was the best place for me to come was here. So
it worked out fairly well for you.
Yeah, it did. It did. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 9. Get it right, 9.
All right, so I gotta tell you guys a quick little story. So when Walt and I first started hanging out, we were going to an event, and on the drive back, I asked him very matter of fact. I was like, "So is your jersey retired?" And he looked at me and he was like, "Dude, stop this car right now."
Stop this car.
No, what I said was because he would tell me what he's a PR guy. He was telling me all what he doing. I was like, cool, and then he just asked me that question. I thought he was jokingly asking me that question. I'm like, okay, you done came here, picked me up, you done took me to an event. You got there, you have to Google or you got to know something. So he was like, oh, so is your jersey retired? I said, hold up, man. I said, man, you got to do your job before you pick somebody up, man.
Let me ask another one that we throw out there. Boom. $100 purchase or less of something that's critical that you use all the time.
Or change your life.
$100 or less.
Baby wipes? No, I'm just not.
Dude.
I do.
There are lots of ways that can be the answer.
No, I like my baby wipes, though. I love my baby wipes.
Respect, because I'm taking that. That's on my list to go to Mexico in a couple weeks. For sure. No question.
I don't know.
Someone's
I encourage him not to spend a lot of money.
Yeah,
we were having a discussion. He's going on a cruise this week with a gentleman with a group of people, but namely the lead singer of Heartland. That song, I Loved Her First. You guys know that song? It's super famous at weddings anyway. And he was like, hey man, I'm thinking about buying this Gucci flip flops. And I was like, why? I was like, just buy 2 other pairs. So that yesterday he shows me the list of all the knickknacks he bought. What'd you spend?
I spent probably about $400, bought some stuff. So it was
it was $800. And I'm like, I should just let you buy this flip flop.
This crew is they are big Florida State fans. They are big into Florida State. So that's kind of why we're so cool. But I decided, okay, I'm gonna really show them that I got Florida, because I usually don't have Florida State stuff. So I went on Fanatic and just ordered everything. I want to make them jealous. I want to be like, ooh, sometimes you have to show off. Sometimes, so I got I got this 2-in-1 charger. It got Florida State on it. I bought a phone. I bought a phone case that got Florida State on it. I bought a toiletry bag that got Florida State on it. Because when they come in the room, they gonna see everything. I bought 2 pairs of slides that got Florida State on it. So I'm literally going everything. I got like a suitcase tag with Florida State on it. So when I come there, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be ready for. I'm gonna be repping Florida State because they really goes out. Like I got this whole outfit. I got some shorts. I got a tank top. I got some long socks. So when I walk out on the boat there, I'm gonna be repping straight Florida State on them.
In full disclosure, none of this came from Florida State because that's an NCAA violation.
No, not now.
No, not now. He's free.
Not now.
He's free and clear of that.
Yes.
he's good now.
I can get whatever. They can send me a lot of stuff now. Like, oh, y'all want?
Florida State, Walter Jones needs some stuff.
Similar question. What's your favorite pair of shoes? We normally ask people for their soccer shoes.
Soccer shoes,
Do you have a favorite pair of shoes?
I honestly love shoes, man. That's probably my weakness, man. I since I've been hanging out with Jose been trying to help me out. I probably buy 2 to 3 pair every 2 to 3 days. So
wow.
What was the last pair you bought?
Not
the last
cheap
pair I
shoes.
bought, I just bought the blue. I want to say the sevens. They just came out. They blue and white. So I'm a big Jordan fan. I'm a big Nike Huaraches. I love the Huaraches. I like the Air Max. So I literally.
So the Huaraches?
Yeah, the Huaraches.
Huar.
Huaraches. Yeah, I tried, dude. I gave up on it.
No.
It's just like me and pancakes.
All right,
There's certain things you just kind of let it slide.
All right, I'm gonna drop a little what he's following back on what he shared with you. So, huaraches are basically Mexican sandals, and in Mexico, folks that couldn't afford shoes would take a tire and basically take the tire and cut it up into the shape of the foot and then tie it with leather straps.
Wow.
And that was the huarache. It was a poor man's sandal.
Oh.
That's what a huarache is.
Oh, these are not poor man's sandals. These
No,
are like
no.
These are like,
I'm
these are
sure
like
they're not.
$100 a pop.
Yeah.
Inspired by.
Yeah.
But you know, for you to say that, I get that because the shoes are kind of similar to like that because they are tennis shoes in the front, but in the back of them they kind of got this scrap across the ankle there. So like one day I was walking. Well, I want to say I was in Hawaii, and we was walking on the beach there on a little walkway they got on the beach there, and this guy was walking behind me, and this guy was like, "Are those sandals you got on?" I'm like, "No, they tennis." But then I realized that looking in the back of them, they do because literally they got like a softness around the ankle part, so your ankle is literally hanging out of the shoe, and they got the scrap around. So
this is I mean, it's not as great, but it's
Who goes pulling up a picture of them?
oh, those are my uncle's shoes. My uncle used to wear those. Man.
There you go. Huaraches.
My uncle used to wear those with some with a linen suit, man, on the summer at the barbecue.
This also is
Now you connect. I'm telling you, hey, my grandpa had these. Uncles in Mexico has them. I'm gonna go to Mexico. My uncle down there, guarantees rocking those.
Hey, Hugo, can you bring us back a 16?
I can find
size
that.
16.
Yeah,
from
I'll get you.
Yeah, you'll bring him back.
I got you.
I got
I
I'll
can
pay
rock them
for
now,
it.
so
I got you.
I went and got my feet done today.
Ooh,
I had to make
self-care.
Well, because you're wearing a lot of. You said you were wearing
Self-care.
slides on this
Well,
cruise. You're going to be barefoot a lot.
especially when you go out to the to the little pool area. You don't want to come out with the dolls looking all ashy and all beat up. So you want to make sure they
I'm
look
picking
good.
this up. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And the
Walt.
weird thing today, when I went in there today, like I walked in there was all ladies in there, and I was like,
Well, yeah.
because I used to go in there with my daughter and stuff, because she kind of hit me, I can go in there and walk with her. But I walked in, and they was kind of like, and I was trying to say it like slowly, like I need a pedicure and a manicure, and they was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "What?" And I was like, then everybody was looking at me, but I guess like,
No, man, you gotta
it's all
take
good.
care
You
of
gotta
your
take care of
feet.
them.
Yeah,
They look
no
perfect.
question.
We asked this of every former Seahawk that's been on the show with us. Who should the Seahawks draft this year?
Ooh.
You're the only Seahawk, by the way.
You know what, man? I don't know. I have to wait and see. Like I think with Coach Karen, I think they're more defensive minded. So I think they're going to stick to that. You know, if I was telling the guy, if Earl leaves, if Earl leave, I think that's going to break up the whole Legion of Boom.
You got him taking off his hat.
And so if that happen, I think that's going to change the draft situation. But I think if they thinking everybody going to come back. I saw today that they're thinking about trying to trade Bennett. So, but I kind of think that was kind of going to be something. You know, if anybody going to try, I think that was the person. But you know, for me personally, I think they should go. You know, offensively, go offensive lineman, or maybe a running back. You know, so I think we need a number one receiver. That's not a shot at Doug, but I think we need somebody to play off Doug. Or Doug, because Doug does a lot of great things. But I think if we get a number one receiver, but I think we got to shore up that offensive line, because I think Russell definitely got to become a better pocket quarterback, and he can be a good pocket quarterback. But I think if we can shore that up, I think they should do some great things next year.
I'm going to borrow a question from fellow Kentridge Charger,
Okay.
Jason Puckett.
Okay.
Are you coming back to play left tackle next year? He asks
No.
that every
They
show.
haven't saw my video. You haven't
Yeah.
showed them my video playing soccer today. Like somebody asked me the other day, I said, "Hey, Walt, you come back?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I come back and then y'all be talking about me next week." I said, "No, I'm not coming back. I'm not even thinking about coaching right now. You know what I'm thinking about doing is just helping the guys out."
Don't mind my brother. I just called my brother. He's a huge Seahawks fan. He's on here just listening in. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
Yo, Hyro, I'm over here with Walt, Big Walt. Can you hear me?
He like,
This is great radio.
He's like, I'm not talking.
Can you hear me?
Hey, so one of the things that we did today is actually Walt took some penalty kicks against the Seattle Reign, and he didn't do too well. I have
Come
those
on, man.
videos. I'm happy to share them. Then the goalie took a couple shots on him, and he caught one, but the other one went right by him.
Well, I was more worried about my toes. I was scared I was going to break my toes. I'm not a. You know, if I was to get trained to do it, I probably could. But you know, that ball is like a cement. That ball is
inflated,
hard.
yeah.
That ball is hard, man. So, but you know, you don't want to get hurt. You know, you out there having fun. So it was great, though. You know, so.
So we only have like 5 minutes left for the
Okay,
show, man.
cool. Had a great time, man.
Hey, Walt, if you were to play college ball today, would you play at UW or UCLA?
The question was bad enough.
You know what? If I was in the state of Washington, and would I play? Yes, I would, because this is me, honestly. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. To be, if you could do it, like I think about like Marcus Trufant, where he played his high. He played. No, I'm saying no. He played his high school ball here. He played his college ball here, and he was able to get drafted by the sports team here. So I think that, you know, I give total respect for that, because, you know, most of the time once you leave high school, you're trying to get away from your family, or you want to go somewhere where you can play and not worry about that. So for him to do that and be successful at it, that's pretty awesome. So I think that's, you know, to be a local here. I call those, like, I can't remember the guy we was talking to yesterday that would say he played here, then he played at Washington. And like I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoy the fact that, you know, I call those local heroes, man, because, you know, no matter what, how you're a professional, you always be a local hero here. So I totally respect those guys to be able to stay here to do it all in the state of Washington. So I think that's pretty cool. So if I lived here, I would play at Washington. I guess I would.
Not Washington State?
No.
All right. Since we're kind of running short on time, man, I'm going to throw another taco question. What is your favorite taco spot here in Washington or Seattle area? Or if you don't have one, what's the last taco spot?
El Rinconcito, bro. We're trying to get a
Yeah, we
sponsorship.
just said it. What's the name?
Yeah.
What is it? El Rinconcito. What is it? Yeah, that's my
Rinconcito.
favorite taco.
Yeah.
I love, honestly, though, what, dude? I love going to taco trucks. Honestly, like when we out and that stuff, I always say let's stop at a taco truck. So I live right off here, off Rainier here. So I stop at the one right there by the little washing mat here.
Man,
I
we
like
need to give you a tour of White Center, man. We have like 5 taco trucks within a mile and a half with a elote stand. You know. But
Oh, yeah, but Walt's got some connects down at White Center, man.
I got a spot down. It's called Viva's. I don't know, you know Viva's in White Center.
Vivas? Oh yeah, Vivas
Yes,
Mexico.
I go to Viva's almost every
in White Center?
Yes,
Let's
that's
go.
that's my
That's the spot.
That's my spot.
No, that's my spot.
I have.
I grew up like
I
a mile
never.
and a half
Hey,
from there.
they give you glasses like this big, and I never left out of there sober. Never. I have never.
Known for that.
I have never walked out of there sober. I've been in there in the daytime. I've been in there at 12 o'clock, and I never left out of there sober.
man,
And when I walk
that's Vivas.
when they walk in, they love it.
No
you know?
question.
And you know, sometimes people are like, oh, you in White Center? I'm like, man, White Center. I have.
Vivas like old school,
Yeah,
like
I never had no issue with being down in White Center.
dope.
You know, and I try to humble myself and be good. I love to hang out with the locals, man. Have a great time, man. So definitely
we tour all the food trucks and the lotes. Let's get this guy with some elote, man. He'd love that.
I'm out on the elotes, but I'll take you down there.
Oh,
you can hang with Hugo,
it's
man.
a life
Oh, you scared?
experience.
I don't do elotes, man.
Elotes is a life
Yeah.
experience.
Hit me with what's elotes? I don't know.
Elotes, you get the corn on the cob,
Okay.
Mayo.
but you
With
add a
mayo.
little bit of mayo. Yeah, it's
Mustard.
mayo, and then some fresh queso fresco,
Okay.
a little bit of spray lime juice, chili powder, and you don't think it would go right because it's mayo, but it's so
like
it will
7
change
pound
your
corn.
life.
It sounds good.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
We'll
old
check
thing.
it out, man.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, all of us are
Yes.
gonna be following Big Walt 71.
Yes.
Every form of social media. You're gonna be up at a Special Olympics Space Needle event,
Yes,
right?
yes, it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna do some stuff. What we basically doing is we asking people to come out and volunteer. Like you say, I'm the ambassador, so basically what our job is to try to promote the event and to get. It's all about volunteers, so we want people to come out. Like he said earlier, it's all about representing the city because it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be nationally televised. So for us,
ESPN is carrying the opening ceremony,
Wow.
and shout out to ESPN for always being really good about supporting events like this.
so it's going to be fun. So I think it's going to be a great time. So. We're going to be asked for. So I think it's going to be cool to do the shot on the Space Needle, so you get a chance to see the city and asking the city to come out and volunteer.
And you're wearing best to ever do it.
Yeah, man, this is my brand, man. I kind of was trying to come out with something, so this is my best to ever do it. So what I'm trying to do is try to inspire people to be the best at whatever they're doing in life. So when you're rocking my gear, we're going to put you in the best quality gear that is and make you feel good when you're rocking it. So, but then you rocking it of somebody that that you watch play. So for me personally, what makes me feel so good, man, is when you talk, a lot of times you say these millennials or people like they're a Seahawk fan now, but I enjoy the fact of talking to the people that watch me from 1997 to now. That's the fun part right there, where you see those people. Because I've had people come up to me and say, man, I didn't start watching O-line until you started playing. Because my dad used to say, man, if you want to watch a player, watch him. So when somebody tell you that, that's the person that you have to deal with. Like I tell people, I tell my son, I tell everybody that I wasn't just playing for you guys or my family. I was playing for everybody because everybody would come out there to watch you. So you have to live your life a certain way. So I'm cool with living my life that way because I'm living for everybody. So I enjoy that part of just being that person for everybody.
And that was
I'm
9
loving
Pro
it.
Bowls.
Now,
What's the
my brand? We got a website right now, but we're in the process of redesigning. So I'm hoping that the site's going to be back up the second week of April.
What's it called?
It's called thebesteverdoit.com. B2DI.com. We got a website, but right now we're doing a lot of designs and a lot of new stuff. So we're going to put some better quality stuff out there. So hopefully mid-April that it's going to be out there, man. And hopefully you guys can go out and support me, man. So it's for a great cause, and like I say, we just want to put some good stuff out there and definitely represent the community.
And one of the things that Walter is going to do with this business is he's going to invite younger people to get an opportunity to get involved with this. So if young kids are going to be doing designs, we're going to be printing those off. And everything that we do is going to be done at the quality of Walter, right? So we want to make sure that people are getting showcased. That we're not just taking advantage of young people's talent. We want people to truly partner themselves with Walter and to truly be exposed. And we have a lot of connections between the both of us. So we will be we sent a care package to Chris Pratt. He's a cool dude. We want to make sure that we're. We'll invite him to come out.
I mean, he doesn't have 9 Pro Bowls.
I know, right?
He does not have 9 Pro
Gonna
Bowls.
have 9 Pro Bowls.
If you're a young kid and you're interested in design, you're interested in getting into this business, follow Walt. And follow his brand, and send us your ideas, because we want to make sure that we are giving you an opportunity to
great,
truly
man.
Cement yourself around here too.
We're going to end with a little Sounders. We going to see you on the sidelines again on Wednesday?
Not this Wednesday because I'm finna go on a cruise. But as soon as I get back in town, this is kind of like the vacation month for me and my kids. So I'm doing my manly vacation first, and then when I come back, I'm taking my kids to Hawaii for a week. So once this month is over with, I'll be back on the sidelines doing my so
that I think it's Dallas, March 31st.
Yes, I'll be
there.
back in town. Yes, that's
excellent. We look forward to seeing your
Thank
shots.
you so much, man. I appreciate it. And
No
thank
question,
you
no
guys
doubt.
for
Thank
having
you.
me on here, man. It was totally fun. So anytime y'all want me to come back, I'm welcome to come back. So I had a great time.
Awesome.
Done.
Thank you.
And on that note, thank you and goodbye. Thank you for watching Sonar.
Go Sounders.
Go Sounders.